Welcome to my vinyl video series where I am taking you through my entire record collection, one album at a time. Today we have J Dilla's Donuts. Now, if you are a hip-hop enthusiast, this is the album. This is the album. This is why I'm starting with this album as my first hip-hop album that I'm sharing. The record itself was recorded in summer of 2005. It was released February 7th, 2006. My pressing that I'm holding in my hands right here is from 2006. The reason I want to share this album with you today, aside from it being the Holy Grail, is the fact that I have two copies of this, not by my own request, not by my own want, but out of necessity. The story of how I got this album. I was early in my collecting days. I was very excited about just building my collection, going out and finding records. I didn't really care whether they were old or new at the time. I didn't really have an idea of what I was looking for. I was just buying for the sake of buying, which isn't a bad place to start. I've talked about starting a record collection. There's no wrong place to start. For me, I kind of just dove in head first. I was like, whatever, whenever, what can I find? I went to a record store for my birthday, and they had a combination of older and new, used, brand new, and I saw they had J Dilla. Very excited. So I purchased my copy, an original pressing of J Dilla's Donuts, a 2006 copy of J Dilla's Donuts. I got very excited because my best friend at the time, my high school best friend, he was so excited about J Dilla. He worshipped this beat maker. And so I was like, I'm gonna share this record with my friend. So I took it to his house, I let him borrow it, I left. I came back a few days later, and he had left my copy of J Dilla Donuts on a humidifier, and it was hanging off of the edge. And I will show you what the record looks like now. As you can see, there's a pretty significant dip. I have no sleeves on these because they are unlistenable, but they are an original. They are something that means a lot to me. I have a story I can tell. I paid $25 for this originally. I ended up buying a 2016 repressing years later for the same price. So J Dilla's Donuts has become my most expensive album that I own because I've had to pay for it twice, and I've had to pay full price for it twice. Normally, I walk you through the track list in its entirety, but seeing as there are about 8 songs on every side of both records, I don't feel like going through them, so I'm just telling you my favorites. Donuts outro, Working on It, Time, The Donut of the Heart, Lightworks, The Factory, and Last Donut of the Night. Those are my go-to tracks on this album. Honestly, you can't go wrong with this album. You put this album on, you put the needle in any place, gold. So, this album means quite a bit to me. This is something that has history with me, something that has both positive, negative, neutral emotions. Runs the whole spectrum of the gambit, and I really, really wanted to share this with you. It took quite a bit of digging through boxes to find my copy of this, because like I said in my first video, all of my albums have been boxed up since I moved, and I am doing this series as a way to re-explore my albums. So although I wasn't able to put this exact copy on my turntable, I was able to re-listen to this album. I'm gonna put a link to stream it on some service in the description below. If you can find yourself a copy, whether it be an original, a repress, even if I don't know if they're still repressing it, if it's a copy they released today, whatever it might be, however you might listen to this, I highly suggest J Dilla's Donuts. Happy listening.